Welcome back, guys. In this section, what we'll be doing is basically making the bullet shoot. In this case, we'll rather making the soldier shoot the bullet. Right now, our bullet is not doing anything, right? So yeah, we'll basically make sure that this bullet is shot. So what we will do is, whenever we want to spawn new things, we can't work with them directly as sprite like this. What we have to do is create what's called a prefab. So a prefab is easy to create. Whatever you want to work with. So in this case, let's say I want lots. We'll be creating lots of bullets. I will do the same thing later on for aliens, so because we'll be spawning lots of aliens. So in this case, I can drag bullets down inside the assets section. And notice that bullets comes in here and it's got this weird looking icon. That's not this red bullet that we created. This is because this is a prefab. Think of prefabs kind of like clones. It's basically a complete duplicate of everything that's with this bullet asset that we've created. So it contains everything, the scaling, the group, the same collider that we added. It's got a circle collider, and if we had scripts attached to it, all of that would have been added. So it's basically like a complete replica of that. So we need this replica if we're going to be shooting lots of bullets. So we need to be making clones of the original bullet. That's the purpose. So for us to spawn, we'll actually go in our game scene. So this is best done in the game scene because the game scene is attached to our canvas. So we can control what's going on in the main game. So in our own load, what we will do is basically to say, whenever we press the mouse button, okay, this mouse button, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but yeah, the right mouse, in this case, the left mouse button. When we press the left mouse button, we should be able to shoot the bullet, okay, and the bullet is going to be going where the mouse pointer will be. So in this case, we'll say this dot node. Okay, so this dot node. So let's see this. Where are we writing this? Okay, so this dot node dot on. Okay, so what we'll be switching on is a mouse event, but unlike this mouse move, this one is not a move event. This is going to be a mouse down event. So mouse down. Okay. Then inside there we'll say this dot spawn. So that's the function we're going to create. This dot spawn. So spawn is going to be the one that spawns the bullet. So spawn event. At this point, you guys probably should be remembering that this is kind of what we did in here, only that the event type is mouse down, meaning a mouse button has been pressed. So when the mouse button has been pressed, we need to do a number of things. So firstly, we need to get the actual we need to instantiate or create a copy of the bullet. Okay, a copy of the bullet. So for us to do that, we'll have to first declare a property at the top. So this is going to be property Cocos prefab. Okay, Cocos prefab. Remember that a prefab is this thing here. Okay, Cocos prefab. So this thing here, that's a prefab. So what we want to do is we want to be able to make a copy of that that bullet. So in this case, we'll say new, maybe, okay, we'll just call it bullet. Bullet. So then this is going to be cc prefab equals now. Okay, so right now it's empty, but when we click the canvas, this will make an empty opening for bullet. That's how we declare properties. When we declare a property, we can view, we can edit it using the user interface this side. So in this case, I'll then drag and add the prefab for bullet in the bullet property. So in this case, what's going to happen is then every time we refer to bullet, we are now referring to this bullet that we've added in there, okay, which is this one, which is a copy of this one. So that's basically what's going on there. So we'll then have to create a new bullet. So this new bullet will be easy. So we'll just save our new bullet equals cc.instantiate. The Cocos creator instantiate function can create a copy of something. So in this case, we'll be creating a copy of the bullet that we've created here. Okay, so that's the one we'll be making a copy of. Then once the bullet has been set, okay, so once the bullet has been set, we basically now have to decide where we're going to spawn it. So we'll say new bullet dot set position. Okay, and basically what we want is to get the position of the soldier. So in fact, I'll just use the same code from there. So the set position takes the x and y axis. So in this case, what we want to do is get the x and y position of the bullet, I mean of the player. So because the player is the one going to be shooting the bullet, so when I click and try to shoot, the bullet has to be coming from the player, headed to wherever my mouse is. So in this case, it has to originate from the player. So in this case, we need to get the player's x and y position. So this .node.parent dot get child by name. Then of course this is going to be soldier dot position dot x. Then we'll put a comma and get the y position as well. So copy that, paste, and change that to the y position. So at that point, this bullet is being created right where the player is. So when that happens, we can then add child. So new bullet. Okay, so we create a copy of the bullet. We set its position to be on the soldier because the soldier is the one shooting. And then we make it show up on the screen. The moment it shows up on the screen, we then need to immediately send it towards wherever the mouse is. It has to shoot and go to where the mouse is. So for this, we'll have to get the mouse location as well. So this is going to be similar to the code we wrote inside here. We'll have to get the mouse position. So we'll say for mouse position is equal to event.getLocation. If you guys remember, event.getLocation. Okay, so that gets the mouse position. After getting the mouse position, we'll still have to convert it. So mouse position will be equal to this.node dot convert to node space AR. So we convert it. After converting the mouse position, so we said we use this to we convert the mouse position to these units that we can work with, right? 700, 600, 500, these numbers, okay? Otherwise, they'll be working with different units. Okay, so then after we do that, we have to pick out individually the X position of the mouse and the Y position of the mouse. So for this, let me just create maybe two properties. Okay, so these will be position X, which is going to be a number. Okay, so I'll set this to 0, and then I'll say position Y, which is going to be a number, and I'll set this to 0 as well. So then what we want, pose X is basically the mouse position on the X-axis, and pose Y is going to be the mouse position on the Y-axis. So we'll say this dot pose X will be equal to, so this dot pose X will be equal to mouse position, this converted one, dot X, and we get the X position. Then this dot pose Y will be equal to mouse position dot Y. So once we do know the mouse position, we can then send, so the bullet has been generated, we've set its position to be on the soldier, and we've showed it up on the screen. Now, all we've done in this section is get the mouse position, because that's where we are going to be shooting. So in this case, we'll say var action okay, yeah, let's just say action by is equal to move to. You guys remember the move to? Okay, so how fast should the bullet travel? We'll give it 0.2 seconds. You guys can feel free to adjust. Less than a second, I think, is, otherwise 1 second, that's a really slow bullet. I think it should be really fast. So it's going to be moving to the mouse position. So create a vector 2 which has the X and Y position. So this dot position X, and this dot position Y. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, move to here is missing a CC. All right. Thank God for the code highlighting. Thank God for the code highlighting. Okay, so in this case, what we're doing is we're saying, so we've got the mouse position here. We've got the X-axis of the mouse position and the Y-axis of the mouse position. Then all we do is basically creating a move to function to say the bullet should take 0.2 seconds to move to the mouse position of X and Y. So all we need to do then is basically to be able to run it. Then we'll be destroying the bullet after it reaches wherever we had pointed. So we'll then create a destruction. So destruction equals cc.call function. Okay, cc.call function, and then this allows us to run a function. So the function that will be running will be just one that destroys the bullet. Okay, so destruction, cause for a function to destroy the bullet. Okay, so if that is done, let me see, am I missing something? Okay, so yes, this is local. Okay, so I'll put this in there. Okay, so after we do that, we then set up a sequence. What happens first? Okay, so sequence is going to be equal to cc.sequence. So the first thing that should happen is we should first of all, because these are two different things going on. So we'll run the action first and then destroy the bullet after running the action. So we'll run action by and then destruction. Okay. Then we'll say new bullet dot run action. Then in this case we'll be running the sequence. Okay, so let's see if this works well. Okay, so let's check if this is running well. So run in the browser, and then okay, so it's not doing so. We probably made a mistake somewhere. Let me just debug this. Okay, so let's see. Cannot read position of now. Okay, cannot read position of now. This is on line 27. Okay, so this dot node. Okay, I see this whole line here. Okay, so remember that the game script is attached to our canvas. So the game script here is attached to our canvas. So when we say this dot node dot get child by name, we're saying the canvas should get a child by its name. Okay, so in this case the mistake here is we've gone with parent when in actual sense we don't mean the parent. Okay, so remember in the bad script. Okay, so here we said this dot node dot parent get child by name soldier1. Okay, I even see another mistake there, soldier. We are missing a 1 there. Okay, but anyways, bad is attached to this guy. Okay, so when we want this guy to be able to, when we want the script bad to be able to talk to soldier, we go up to canvas and then ask the canvas to give us one of its children, soldier. So we say this dot node referring to the bad guy, and then dot parent referring to the canvas, the parent of the bad guy, and then get child by name, and then coming down to the soldier. So that's the mistake in here. In this case, because we are already attached to the canvas, we don't need to say this dot node dot parent. We just say this dot node, and we are already at the canvas. Then while we're at the canvas, then we can then say get child by name soldier1. We don't need to say this dot node dot parent. The canvas has got no parent. Okay, the canvas has got no parent. So that's basically our mistake. Let's try running it one more time. Hopefully everything's fine. Okay, so yeah, this time it's able to shoot. So notice that wherever I shoot, so the bullet can only go as far as where I point. Then after it reaches there, it gets destroyed, and that's what we wrote in our code. So we move to the position of the mouse, and then after that, we destroy the bullet by saying new bullet to destroy. That's basically the end of this section. Remember to throw this video a like, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, guys. You don't even know. So yes, put a comment in there if you found this helpful. And then you can ask questions. Let's get chatting. Okay.